On the Radio Wammo Breakfast.
The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Ads with Simon Pound from simonpound.com.
Ads. Simon Pound, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
It's so about ads.
That's awesome, ads.
Ads. Goodness me, this morning, a lot to talk about because over the past couple of weeks, there's this new campaign started with McDonald's, isn't there?
Yeah, there's something really quite amazing that has happened. McDonald's have partnered with Weightwatchers in order to bring attention to the fact that a number of their menu offerings are actually okay to people who are on Weightwatchers if they're very careful. So what they have is they have filet-o-fish, a wrap, and also chicken nuggets. And if you have one of those menu items with a salad and a diet drink or a water, then it equates to 6.5 points. And in a day of weight watching activity, you're allowed to eat up to 40 points. So it totally can fit into your weight watching diet. It's quite remarkable that McDonald's and Weight Watchers could be aligning. It's kind of just another one of these brilliant signs that we live in a post-parody and post-satire world.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing you couldn't imagine kind of happening a couple of years ago. But we had Justin Watson, who's the Director of Marketing for McDonald's, come on the ad show last night. We tape it the day before it actually goes to air.
Yeah.
So we've already taped tonight's show. And he came on and he was saying that for McDonald's, it makes a lot of sense for them because over the last 10 years, they've worked very hard to change the nutritional content of their food.
Right.
So a couple of years ago, they wouldn't have been able to get that down to only 6.5 points because there was more sugar in their buns, and there were the fats that they used to cook in had a higher percentage of trans fats and saturated fats, and so they've done a number of things to actually improve the nutritional value of their food.
Crazy science?
Well, I don't know about crazy science, like actual kind of making an effort, and that's quite a cool story. And so McDonald's went and thought, how can we tell the story the most compellingly that actually McDonald's that you may think of as being junk doesn't have to be. And so they went and they approached Weight Watchers, and this is the first type of alignment like that for McDonald's in the world. And they're kind of doing it as a bit of a test case, really. Approached Weight Watchers, they paid them a sum. They wouldn't tell us how much, but they paid them a sum in order to, make a really big hoo-ha about this. And so they launched with a press release, effectively, saying that this has happened. And so sure enough, the media picked up on it and went and talked to the anti-obesity people and went to talk to competitors of Weight Watchers in the weight loss field, like Jenny Craig and the like.
Yeah.
And so you got a series of stories that ran and got really big coverage, saying, unlikely alliance, critics say terrible. And some of the critics were brilliant. Jenny Craig, for example, who are a competitor of Weight Watchers, and so of course are not going to be supportive of any move, but still they may have a point when they say this. They say that they feel that sending people who are trying to lose weight into a McDonald's is like sending an alcoholic into a bar.
and saying, pick up a soda.
Which is just awesome, isn't it? And another analogy that I thought of was that maybe it's kind of like, there's something so ballsy about this move. It's so cheeky at some level that I just love it. I just think it's, from a totally, a position not worrying about morals, a position not worrying about anything. There's something awesome about the ballsiness of aligning McDonald's and Weight Watchers. It's kind of like Benson and Hedges getting the support of Nicorette. It's just so. Yeah. There's something to it.
But then you look at Weight Watchers now, right? And like, what is Weight Watchers? It's a multinational corporation with massive responsibilities to its shareholders. It's no longer the grassroots kind of, diet program that it probably originally started out with decades ago. It is now, it's barely, sure, its product is trying to get people to lose weight, but to its shareholders, it's no longer that. It's a massive business.
Yeah, it's a great big brand story or something.
Yeah.
We spoke to we had a marketing expert from AUT University at the show, and we asked him, because we spoke to Justin, and Justin from McDonald's made really good points about why they would be doing it. But then we spoke to Dave and said, well, we heard about the good story from McDonald's. What's in it for Weightwatchers? And he raised the point that he wondered if it might actually, aside from the money that's in it for them, if it might not actually be a little bit damaging to their credibility. But it's too early to totally tell.
Mm. And where do they have currently advertising all this? Is it on TV?
Well, that's an interesting thing, that they went from just a press release to bring it out, which they knew would generate this attention. And so that happened, and then they followed it up with the most enormous spend. On Sunday, the Herald on Sunday was wrapped, which means it had the advertising over the front page of the actual paper.
Right. That's expensive.
Yes, very expensive. Over $100,000 we estimate for that. The Sunday Star Times had a wrap over their sports section, which is cheeky in and of itself for a fast food group to do it over the sports section.
Yeah.
That we estimate would be more than $100,000 as well. One of the women's magazines had a cover wrap as well, like a smaller one than the total wraps. YouTube New Zealand, the YouTube homepage was totally branded all over it. There were ads on television. It was just, the ads on other digital spaces. A totally enormous launch.
Well,
over $250,000 worth, over $250,000 in one day on Sunday, just on a couple of print options, Sunday News, it's a totally remarkable launch. Well, so McDonald's really want everyone to be thinking about them in a very different way.
And so now does Wellington apparently want the world to think of them in a particular way?
Yeah, isn't that a remarkable branding story, the idea of Wellington wanting to put the Wellywood sign up on the Miramar Hills?
Who's come up with this idea?
Well, it's one that the airport are driving it, and the airport have the support of some pretty crucial film figures. Peter Jackson and the Weta people are behind this as well. A number of tourism people related to Wellington are behind it. The mayor is behind it as a result of the fact that she says that if people like Peter Jackson are behind it, then I'll support it. Yeah. So there's a number of different parties who are pushing this, and apparently the idea's been around for a number of years, and this is the first time that they've thought, we'll actually try it.
And now there's a website where you can generate your own Wellywood sign. You could basically type in your message.
Pretty quickly, as soon as it was announced as an idea, the idea started flying thick and fast about ways that you could, in some way, alter or vandalise the sign. And I pretty immediately thought, man, I hope they do put it up, because it would be funny to go down on a road trip and make your own massive white letters and change it, Wellywood to maybe a play on wood, or I'm thinking of a rough. You give me wood or something.
I saw someone yesterday, because the sign itself is on a bit of a scrubby sort of hill, I suppose. It looks like gorse covered, and someone put weedwood on it.
Well, I thought it would be funny to change it something like, you give me wood, and someone said that it would be very interesting to knock out the bars on the E, so it said Wellywood. And then this website, skullandbones.co.nz, who are obviously very clever and quick on their feet, they made a generator. So if you have any ideas about what something more entertaining that you could put there, you head along to that website, you bang into their their Wellywood generator. So if you Google Skull and Bones and Wellywood, you'll find the generator. You put it in there, and then it makes the picture, and you're able to share it to your Facebook or what have you. And some great ones have been flying around, most pretty unkind. So it's quite a cool story about how you don't have entire control over these things, and so if you're going to do them, you've got to be a bit brave.
Yes, indeed. Simon Pound from simonpound.com and the Ad Show on TVNZ7. Thanks very much.
Hey, nice to talk to you. Have a good day.
You too. 10 minutes away from 8 o'clock this morning.
Hi, I'm James.